ready. Always stay ready.
Alright, cue time. Hello and welcome everyone back to Taupel for the second race of the weekend, the JL race, with 10 challengers here fighting it out, with Ricky Boy just waking up, I think, because he didn't seem to start. And I'm here with Yoa. Yoa co-commentating with me. How are you, Yoa?
I'm good. Went for lunch actually, so I'm feeling full. I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling alive, and obviously having to drive you out later is a bit depressing. But we are here for JL and Man Big Goats. Obviously, this is Talpa. This is your track. How are you feeling about this, and how do you perceive this one's gonna go?
See people race around my track. Just before this, we saw Ludwig setting a very fast time, but he's currently beaten by Barrett. Barrett with a 33.05. I'm pretty sure this is not the fastest time that we're going to see for JL quali, but strong time for the first lap around here. What do you think will be the pole time here? And who will take it, most importantly?
I think it's still going to be Ludwig, but I think Barrett might come very close though, and Piggy's one to watch. I think it's going to be a 3-2-8, and also Bishchi's asking if you can, or Matt is asking if you can zoom in just a little bit.
I insert focusing on the cows. There's Punk as well. He did make it. Ludwig now into the 32s. The first set of 32s that we're seeing in quali here. 33.97, so just under it. Very close. But I assume one of them must be able. I see Krunk logging on as well, so hopefully Krunk can still make it. We'll have Punk and Krunk starting at the back. We're now on the last back straight. That does rhyme indeed. Ludwig, very big gap to Barrett, so if someone's going to improve, it must be him. He does an 87, but Piggy! Piggy out of nowhere! We almost forgot that he was also definitely one of the drivers to watch, but he made sure that we saw Pito also improving last second there. So very, very good quality from Riker Supernova. P1 and P3 in the end there. Of course, Ludwig sandwiched in between. P2, a good starting point here though, because you're on the inside, so you might be able to send it up immediately. Barrett, P4, with Toast and Ricky Boy and the row behind him. Then we have Drostov, Axis, Methagil, and Gilpret. And I think we will have Punk joining us in P11, and probably also Krunk in P12. Punk is now here. He should be in P11, I assume. I don't have to change anything. Do we have any word from Krunk? Is he joining? He just started up the game, but did not decide to race.
A very interesting quality there, though, because I think obviously World Ludwig is the potential favorite, but especially considering he won AL, and this week he's been pretty rapid too. I remember in one of the maps he set up 8, and this is looking very promising and like a very interesting race.
Yeah, no, it should be very interesting. I'm interested to see what kind of strategies we're seeing, because we're doing 24 laps. I've seen some people in the chat saying they're going to do soft 8 3 times. Maybe there's some people who dare to go on the hards to save themselves a pit stop. Let's see. Let's see what everyone has up their sleeve for now. I don't think Krunk is joining, so let's just ready up and get straight into the race. So we are done well before the Formula 1 race starts. Yeah, we're all good to go then. So there we are. On the starting grid. Piggy up front. Any changes? No, everyone's starting. Oh, Piggy's going to start on the hards. No, it was a fake out, but Ludwig starts on the hards. Does not go for the move because of that. Barrett makes the move as he was also on the inside. Big crash with Pito. I feel like I keep saying Pito like pedophile, but I mean with the T. But yeah, a bit of movement. Pito is getting sent to the back a little bit, but big gap already with the pack in the back here having some problems. Methagil, Axis, Punk, who started the back, of course, Gilpret, all involved in some kind of crash, as up front we have Ludwig sending it. Barrett moving across. I think Barrett made a move on the back straight, but Ludwig starting on the hards, definitely struggling here. As Peter and Ludwig now leg rocketing a little bit. A lot of chaos here, like these cars too big to, oh my god,
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Oh dear.
unfortunate. Meant I could see that coming from the way everything was looking there. But yeah, that was the top three now gone. With Ricky Boys somehow coming out of that leading the race. I have no idea how that happened, but Ricky Boy now leads ahead of Barrett and Toast. So Pito and Piggy and Ludwig in that crash losing massive time. The top three on the grid here. Now 4 to 6. So what do you make of that crash, Joa? Who do you think was at fault there?
I think it's very hard to call with like if we had like a replay team, then it would be easy to call as Barrett's now in front. But both RSRs and Ludwig as well, losing out quite massively as he and Piggy almost went side by side there. I think I think it's going to be interesting now because if those three were in front, I think they probably would have been a bit of a gap to the group behind, especially with the aggressive nature of the group in front. Sorry, but so far, I think we're on for a very interesting race. And seeing Barrett in front with Ricky Boy side by side with Toaster, and then letting Toaster go through, Peto in the slip, Piggy in the slip, Ludwig being left out of the slip. This five-way group will need to pull out quite the gap now, especially because Ludwig may come on strong. But Piggy is definitely one to watch out for playing big out.
Yeah, it's almost like we're having a reverse grid here for the top six. Like the people moving around shuffled to the back who were starting up front. And now Barrett going wide, giving Toast the lead. But yeah, we have a five-way group now with Ludwig very close. I think he just needs to buy this time. He's on the hards. He will have the better finishing tires for sure. He just needs to hope that these guys all fight a lot during the whole race. There's now a bit of fighting with Ricky Boy allowed the top three to get away from Piggy a little bit, but he's still in there, and Ludwig now catches as well. So a six-way fight for the lead here. Toe's now leading this, with Barrett still very close behind, but Pito with his ping, of course, probably seeing himself right up the ass of Barrett. Bit of moving around again. But further back, we also have another fight. I was just seeing on the minimap. This four-way fight for like P7 is also going to be an interesting one that might go for a long time. But clean so far. Yeah, up the front, that's where we want to be looking because we see Barrett now again making a move, not wanting to sit in second place behind Toaster. But makes a little mistake and that allows Toaster to get away, but Pito probably sees himself ahead here. A difficult race to overtake, especially if you have some ping on here. But yeah, Barrett again, just sending it. Not wanting to sit behind, not wanting to get away as Ludwig gets shoved into the grass a little bit. I think his trailer not helping there. And Crunk sadly joins too late. So we have the first bidders. So what do you think the strategy should be here? What do you think the winning strategy will be? Better said.
So Piggy set the example in AL with the two-stopper with soft. I think it's going to be. I think Barrett is going to probably do a soft medium along with Ricky, while Peto, who's fighting with Toaster. These two, of course, having off-track altercations a few times. They're both gonna come in. Piggy's gonna come in, and this is for soft tires. They're going to do soft. Ludwig is going to try the one-stopper. Now it's going to be very interesting. Wow, goodness.
Yeah, Barrett, I don't know if they were fighting a lot, but he suddenly gained 2.5 seconds in that one lap. Of course, very good outlap as well, 34.3, compared to the others who were in the 35s, but wow. Somehow Drostov, I don't know how Drostov hasn't pitted yet, but Toaster stuck behind Drostov. I thought Toaster was leading, but something must have happened here on his outlap as well. Pito reporting TPs, maybe by Ricky Boy, who was a bit laggy as well. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the two-stopper must be the way to go.
Seems like it.
I think Ludwig...
the hard tires might... Yeah.
Do you think Ludwig will try to do the one-stopper, like a hard, or will he just go into the softs in the end here and try to catch it back up?
I think the only option for him at this point is probably to do the hard, because he's got the pace, but it's very clear that Barot has pace to burn. So I think for Ludwig now, the only option might be to go on hards after this, and then just go to the end, unless he goes and stretches it to lap 13 and then fits on a set of mediums.
Ricky Boy here single-handedly holding back both the RSRs, a little TP there, but it doesn't really affect the race at all. Like Pito is reporting it and we're seeing it, but I don't think that is reason for disqualification, a tiny TP like that. But let's see, because Barrett is now on the back of Ludwig. Ludwig just has to try to hold him back for as long as he can, but that will be a very, very difficult task. A big leg rocket.
Oh, leg rocket.
Oh, and that brings Piggy back. That brings Ricky back. That really screwed up both these guys' race. Yeah, no, they are probably not going to be happy with that one. I'm sure that either will say that the other was at fault, but Ludwig now into the pit, probably going for that hard. Yeah, that is unfortunate. It's not what we like to see here. Yeah, that makes it a bit more interesting again.
Yeah, definitely. With FES4, there's been quite a few lag rockets, hasn't? Oh no, Ricky Deep as he loses his P3, but there's been quite a few lag rockets this season. And I think it's just wonder
I think we've both speculated on why that could be, but for me, I feel like it's just the bigger cars having a bigger area where we can touch the other car, so creating lag rockets more easily because of it. But somehow Barrett, after that crash, after being caught up by Piggy, immediately made a gap again. So he is now again out of slipstream by himself, just relaxing. But he has two RSRs that are working together very nicely here, because Vito's not really attacking Piggy, just slipping each other, letting Piggy do the hard work here. As Barrett moves into pit early, going for yet another undercut. Goes onto the mediums for the last 10 laps of this race. Yeah, Toast, he was looking good, but he has seemingly had some problems after that first stint finished, because he fell back a lot.
Yeah, most definitely. I think when Toaster came out the pits, he was with Alexei Drozdov on his outlap, which held him up a little bit as he goes for the move on Ricky Boy, who goes and lets him through. And now, I think from now to the end, Ricky into the pits. He did 8 laps on softs. Now he's going on to mediums. But I think now's a big this lap here with Peto, Piggy, and Toaster is going to be the big one, because currently Ludwig is in the net. Arot is on. Should be very interesting. They're going on softs.
Yeah, like surprisingly. I think when I saw Barrett come out only like a second behind Ludwig on fresh mediums, I thought he would catch faster, but he hasn't really caught yet. But now, like, these two are going to come out in the lead pretty far, I would imagine. Because Pito comes out, and it is, 2 seconds? Yeah, 2 seconds to Barrett. So they have to hope that these fresh softs are going to carry them. But soft 8 is a pretty difficult tire to drive, of course. Barrett's only going to do medium 10, which is not a very difficult tire to drive. Hard 12, also definitely a stable tire. But now we see Barrett going for the move.
Oh boy. Ooh.
I think Ludwig knows that he can't do much. He just has to sit behind. Hope that he can keep the slipstream and hopefully have the better tire at the end. But I don't think he will. But if Barrett makes mistakes like this, then maybe he can. He could still come out ahead here with Pita and Piggy both making inroads. Also a little mistake here. Bit of camera pressure. But no, like, Pita making a big mistake there. That is unfortunate. Now Piggy's loose. That is it for the teamwork for Riker Supernova. Piggy's on his own. He has, a bit under 2 seconds to catch. The AI line's making the timing screen a bit weird, so it's a bit hard to see, but Barrett's still behind Ludwig. Can't really do much yet. But we have 5 laps to go, and he is very close, of course, and still has the better tires, has more tire wear left on the softer compound. So yeah, what do you think? Can Piggy catch up here? Because he is getting closer.
Uh, oh, you know what? Give it 2 laps. Give it 2 laps because he's just set the fastest lap of the race at 33. My voice is- So, yeah, this is going to be spicy now. He's right there. He's right there.
You know, he's very close now, but a little mistake, and already it's another half a second gone almost. His mistakes here are costly. He just has to wait for Ludwig and Barrett to do some fighting or make mistakes. But so far, they're looking very clean. A little bit of fighting on the previous lap.
Perché?
Oh, Trustanet, you are unmuted.
Aspetta, no, c'è tutto per sta cosa oppure?
I will mute you and
Vuol dire un picco per un curare?
mute. But yeah, still, we have Ludwig in the slipstream of Barrett, not letting him go. Not sure if he's going to be going for moves, maybe wanting to get Piggy involved, so maybe he can help him get away from Barrett by having fights, but it might also be risky. He might not want to lose his P2. As of course, Petto is also right behind there. I'm going to start saying Petto because I realized that P2 sounds too much like another word, and that might be a problem. But yeah, Ludwig's still there, still holding on. I have him muted, Bishara, don't worry. He's not going to be in the commentary.
Sorry, I'm lagging a little. I'm lagging just a little bit because
Yeah.
on my screen, my is terrible.
Yeah, I heard some lagging when you were speaking. I just decided to go for some solo commentary here. But now Piggy and Pitto, now that the tires are going off, the softs are 7 laps old, they're not going to be that strong anymore. Probably not going to be able to catch up to this top 2 pack, but is Ludwig going to do something on this last lap? Like, he now has very, very similar tires to Barrett. They're both on old tires, but the mediums might start to slide a little bit. They're getting a bit annoying on the 10th lap, and he goes for a move, and that is not very clean. Rafita joins very late into the race here, maybe also did not get the memo of when it was starting, but Barrett falls off, and Ludwig just moves away. But I think some things might be said about that after the race. Because it was, of course, a move that was challenged a bit with ping, but Barrett makes a mistake, and that is Ludwig on the last lap, still going for the win. Barrett will be holding on, but barely, to Beto, who takes P3, Piggy in P4. Good job from the Rikers. Toast comes home in 5th. Ricky takes 6th place, and then we have a big gap to the P7 and P8 of this race. Is Access going for a move? He does not take it.
Word.
That was very close.
Oh, that was tight.
So Alexei Drostov takes P7 in front of Access in P8. Punk takes P9 after sadly missing Q, with Matthegill P10 and Gilbreth taking the last position of P11. So that was an interesting ratio. The ending was maybe a bit disappointing. I would have liked to see some more fighting for that last lap, but either way, Ludwig had great pace on those hards, made them work for him. Barrett also had great pace on the softs and on the mediums. What do you have to say about it? What is your last word?
Yeah, man, big oats. That was a pretty messy race, but I think at times it was also entertaining, especially on the strategy front, because we had drivers going on softs, and then 3 drivers mixing it up between the mediums and the hards. 2 stoppers, and it's very fascinating because I think during the race, I think that race goes to show that it's not over until it really is over. So Ludwig with the victory, I think that was a solid victory. I think Toast might be like remonstrating a little bit with what happened at the start of the second stint, while Beto and Piggy were so close. Piggy was right there in the slipstream. right there, and then I think one error, and then it just spiraled afterwards. But yeah, I think a bit of a messy race, but I think strategy-wise, fantastic. And of course, we see the likes of Drozdov, Axis, and Punk, and I think Mathagil as well, who were quite tight for a lot of the race. So yeah, very interesting.
Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next week in Silverstone, I believe. A rainy Silverstone, so that should
Oh
also
yeah.
be fun. So we'll see you there. Good night.